I'm going to introduce Christoph Parthens, who will be talking about KNX Virtual supporting KNX IoT. So this is about KNX Virtual, short KV, and it's an application simulating a KNX installation. It's focusing on two main aspects: system features and bus functions. So we're innovating by separating them into two editions. The KV functions editions will dive into everyday tasks like switching, dimming, controlling shutters, blinds, HVAC, and alarms. All of these tasks will be streamlined into a single line for efficiency. Now, on the other hand, the KV System Edition will explore system aspects, like couplers, secure devices, and security measures for data and IP. Now, this edition will also support switching tasks and the upcoming KNX IoT protocol extension. So let's join Christoph to better understand these aspects and how they work together in the world of KNX. Christoph, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining this video. The topic of today, or the topic of, better said, of this video is about KNX Virtual. So more specific, KNX Virtual system. So this will be a future release of KNX Virtual. And the point of this video is to show to you the fact that KNX Virtual, this KNX Virtual system, is already today IoT ready. That means, of course, it's kind of disclaimer that this software is not publicly available yet. So it's just to announce the future release of it being IoT ready. So that I just wanted to be clear on that there are no misunderstandings. So let's have a look into the actual topic then. So KNX Virtual being IoT ready. In order to do that, I do that in two steps if you want. So I will explain to you KNX Virtual, how it will be split up in the future actually. So we will call it functions versus system, right? And then I will demonstrate this POC, this proof of concept to you in this video. So maybe a few words on the two different types of KNX Virtual that we will distinguish in the future. So basically what we will have is a KNX Virtual that is focusing on building functions, so we call it simply functions. Actually, as such, this specific version of KNX Virtual is not the topic of this video, so I will not be very specific on it, just to mention it actually. So all in all, it's just a version that specifically focuses on getting acquainted with the KNX building functions like dimming, shutters, HVAC, all these things, right? So the emphasis there is not the system aspects. There's also no security example given on board in this edition. So that's I think that's enough for now for KNX Virtual Functions, because we should focus on KNX Virtual System. So what is KNX Virtual System, to be more precise? In this virtual KNX installation, we will see multiple segments for different media types. So we will see twisted pair devices, radio frequency, IP devices. All that in a fixed topology, by the way. What we also have on board here is data security, covering also transport security, and also for the IoT part, the security is actually a technology called OSCORE, which I will also demonstrate here. What do we have more? We have segment couplers, so that are couplers that, well, to summarize this, these are actually new types of couplers that actually function as repeaters, sorry, But then with the while being a repeater, let me put it like that, they also apply filter tables. This is also something new, maybe not in the KNX technology as such, but certainly for this new version of KNX Virtual. There's also security proxy. There's also physical interaction, so you can also link this software to actual physical KNX devices out there. And so the concept of this software, or the point of this software, is to experience all kinds of combined system aspects, but you do that while using KNX switching functions. So you will not be able to use dimming functions or HVAC here. It is because the focus is really on the system aspects and the combinations of those. Okay, now KNX Virtual system is actually covering inside of the software, so to say, covers 8 devices. So I have put them here on the slide. So where you can see then the topology. Of course, this diagram will also be part of the software itself, so you can always have a look at it. So basically, we have let's say a left side and a right side. On the left side, we see here on the bottom twisted pair buttons, a twisted pair buttons device, a twisted pair coupler. Relay, so it's actually a switching actuator, and all these devices are not secure. Then there is a right side. There we have more or less the same devices, so also buttons, but then they are secure. So you can make sure that these devices here send encrypted telegrams. So there's a radio frequency coupler here. And so on, because I don't want to be too specific here, because it's also not important right now for this specific topic of this video. Yeah? But I just wanted to mention it, that there is this KNX Virtual, and it will look like this. These are the devices that will be covered. Okay. Next thing then is about the I'm actually already in part 2, so that's the demo or the proof of concept. So what is the proof of concept actually? Well, I just want to show you that it is indeed IoT ready. So I have an IoT device, and I want to make sure that it can communicate to physical devices that are already today on the market. So the physical KNX devices that we already have, and this in a secure context. So what is the concept? So what is the demo that I will give? Well, so as already mentioned, I will have a KNX part. So where I have set up a secure IP backbone. So physical, so this is not virtual, this is a real physical installation I have here. I will use 2 devices. So I will use a plain actuator and a secure actuator. To show you this in this demo, I will use ETS Group Monitor to show what's going on this KNX, on this, again, physical KNX installation. So that's one part. The other part is the KNX IoT push button device that I have developed here. And there will be, let's say, 2 buttons that will trigger a specific group address. And there's another set of buttons, so on the bottom, so to say, that will be the trigger for another group address. The first group address I will use for triggering the plain actuator, and the bottom triggers, if you want, I will use those to trigger, to send, trigger is a good word, to trigger the secure actuator. So I want to show you that distinction. so that let's say the IoT device is indeed able to operate those two different actuators. So one being plain, the other one being secure, and all of that runs also over a secure IP backbone. So that's so these are the, let me say, already 4 different security aspects. So there's the IoT device as such using OSCORE as technology. There's the IP backbone where the so-called transport security is applied, and then there's the plain device and the secure device, the plain and the secure actuator. And all of that is possible because of KNX Virtual, because the KNX Virtual will make the translation from one from one protocol or from one system aspect to the other. That's actually what I try to achieve here, or to demonstrate. So to put it maybe in a more graphical representation, maybe this slide here. So what we see here is 2 big blocks. So we have the one on the left side. That is actually the block that in which I represent the KNX installation, so the physical KNX installation. So the 3 most important, or the 3 devices that are actually that are part of this demo are the secure router, again a physical one, just to be clear on that. So which will make sure that there is indeed the transport security applied. So it makes sure that we have indeed a secure IP backbone. Then there's the plain actuator. So with this specific address here, 3.0.1, and then there's a secure actuator with another address, of course, 3.0.3. On the right side, the big block here, we have 4 elements. So we have the push button, the device I have just talked about. So the IoT push button has the address 113. So that will be the triggering device, so to say. Then there's the KNX Virtual system as such, so software, of course. And that will make the glue between all the different system aspects here, all the different security protocols, if you want. I also will be using ETS in order to record on the IP backbone to see what's happening on the KNX installation as such. And I will also use yet another tool, Wireshark it's called. It's also an open source tool, if you're not familiar yet with that tool. Very popular, by the way, in this context. So I will use this software in order to show you the OSCORE telegrams. So to show you the frames that the push button is sending. Okay, so far so good. So maybe a few details, but I might not have. There might not be much point in really explaining all of that to you right now, but just for the sake of the video, maybe, because you can, of course, obviously a video you can always watch for yourself afterwards. You can check here all the details. So I explain what OSCORE is in a few words. So there are some parameters that are involved here. And what we actually exchange on IoT devices are so the typical, let's say, group value write telegrams, right? Well, that is actually the way this is transported over the wire is by means of CBOR, another technology, and also for that reason I have put it here on the slide. So there is so in case you are really interested in to see how a group value write on KNX today, how this translates into an let's say an IoT frame, well, then this slide for sure can help you. So I will not go in details here because there's also not much point. It's more theoretical. It's more just background information. But I just want you to know that it is available, so you can have a look in case you want that. So now for the demo, what I want to do next. So maybe just for the sake of just showing it to you. So the glue of this all is this thing here, this window. It's KNX Virtual System. So I will just make it disappear here because as such we don't need it. We don't really need to see it, right? So what do I have here is this push button device. So it's a very small thing here. So as I said, it has two rows, so two triggers. So a push button to send 0 and a push button to send 1. So the top row is to trigger the plane device on the KNX installation, and the bottom, buttons, sorry, on the bottom are the ones that I will use to trigger the secure device. So, so basically, if I just click this button here, then two things will happen. That is that, well, first of all, I will see in the ETS monitor, which is, by the way, using KNX IP router, so a physical one, as I already indicated. So that is what we can see here in the ETS in ETS. And if we look at the details, then indeed we do see two telegrams appear. So, so KNX Virtual has translated these Oscar frames here that we see here in the Wireshark software. So it does translate this first Oscar message. So here with the source, the 2001 thing is actually, so that's the IPv6 address actually of the IoT device, right? And that frame, that Oscar frame, which is also indicated, by the way, so the protocol used is indeed Oscar. And well, that frame is then translated into this frame on the physical installation. So this is actually a group value write telegram indeed, where the transport security is applied, not the data security because it's a plain device, as said before, but transport is assured. That means that this frame is actually was wrapped, so to say, into an IP secure frame on the backbone. Yeah, but as such, there's no data security applied here. The second telegram that we see here is the feedback. The feedback coming from the plane actuator, telling me or giving me back giving us back the status of the relay actually, and also this translates into Oscar, and that's also the reason why this button became why we have the 0 and the 1 being indicated in red color, because it's switched on right now. As you can see in the monitor, it's indeed switched on. So if I click on the 0, then same will happen, but then of course it will be switched off again. So let's try. So now the background is indeed 0, because there was indeed this Oscar frame that ended up, or that was translated into this frame, and of course the feedback followed accordingly. Now that was the first part of the demo, let's say, or the first part of the triggering. Then there's the second part. So let's do the same thing, but then for the secure actuator. It will look similar, but still a bit different. So let's try. So first of all, I click the button. What we see now is that indeed, well, first of all, the coloring is different in ETS monitor, because with the blue color, I actually indicate that this frame is also, or that this telegram actually also applied data security. So it's indicated in the security tab here So not only transport, so not only it was wrapped on into an IP secure frame, but inside that wrapped IP secure frame, there is indeed a frame that for which data security is applied. So that goes into two directions. So that's from the push button to the actuator, and from the actuator back to the push button for feedback. So that's what we see. That's how we can also distinguish, indeed, of course, the different group addresses. The 1.0.0 is for triggering, and 1.1.0 is for the feedback. So let's do the same thing for switching it off. So clicking 0, basically. So we see that also here 2 additional frames appear in ETS monitor. So of course also using the transport and the data security, and of course all of that because of the 2, let's say the 2 additional Oscar frames. Okay. So we have seen during the demo that there is this IoT push button device that sends its Oscar frames that then got translated into different, let's say, KNX secure frames. So combining transport with transport security combined with data security, if where it was with transport security combined with data security, if where it was required. So we have seen that, and that's definitely proof of concept, I would say. So thank you for joining that moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention, and yeah, feel free, of course, to. So thank you for joining that moment. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention, and yeah, feel free, of course, to use these coordinates to contact me afterwards, because I know that this contains a lot of technical details, and I'm pretty sure there are a lot of question marks there.
Thank you, Christoph. What an important tool. I wouldn't like to go back to a world without the ability to simulate installations. It sounds like such an important tool to have. And IoT strikes me as one of those technologies that you can go very, very deep into. And the lovely thing here is that a lot of the expertise seems to be built into the tool. Christoph, we're going to ask the audience for any of their questions. In the meantime, I'd like to ask first if you can perhaps address more there. We talked about innovating by splitting into 2 additions, into the system features and the bus functions. Perhaps you can just address that decision again about how important it was to split the 2.
Well, to be honest, it's also, of course, there's also a practical reason for myself in this, which actually proves the point, because while developing this, I saw the complexity of system-related aspects being combined with building functionality, complexer functions, let's say, and I was sometimes simply lost in all the details, you know. So to be honest, I started just for myself, like, okay, listen, guy, let's split up the things, and I thought at that moment, hey, but that's actually maybe also the experience of the potential user or the future users of this thing. They will probably face the same thing, and indeed, looking back to what the intention was of KNX Virtual, it fits. So indeed, let's split up the things, because it's all about getting acquainted, and you can do it in several stages, or several, yeah, focusing on several aspects. I think that's pretty much a good approach. Of course, maybe in the future, if yeah, of course, this takes resources, it takes time, it takes money, it's clear. Maybe we could one day go back to where we combine all the things. But that's not on the, let's say, this is not a priority right now. So that's maybe a bit the explanation of why this happened. Yeah. I hope that was a clear answer.
No, I think it's one of those moments where you get a stroke of genius, to make life easier for everybody. So it's quite nice. We have a question from the audience that's a little more commercial, but is KNX Virtual free?
Well, if it would not be for free, I would. I personally would be very, very sad, very, very sad, because the idea is to give this to 6-year-olds. So what I'm basically mean is it should be for free. It shall be for free. That's the entire idea. Yeah. Maybe, however, I need to be maybe complete in my answer here. Maybe in the future we might see payable KNX Virtual versions. That might be, but there will always be a free one. That's for sure. That's a guarantee. Yes. So that's my answer. Hope it's clear again.
Thank you. And what would be, in your opinion, the best way to get expert at using KNX Virtual for supporting KNX IoT? What's, again, like you said, it's technical. How do we get our head around it?
This is IoT ready. So that means we cannot release this thing yet because IoT as such it's in its final stage, right? Of course. So that means, so what I'm saying is what you indeed could do in the early days after this has been released is maybe to check still the virtual devices. That's maybe my advice, to take it from there. So we will also, together with this new, let's say, KNX Virtual version, we will also release some of the IoT devices. So from KNX Association, and obviously also virtual. So that would probably be a good way to get acquainted with this new technology. So again, like I showed in the demo, of course you can use KNX Virtual in order to combine it even with physical installations that you want to experiment with. And on the other side, you have the IoT devices, and of course there will be videos, there will be of course a tutorial, documentation. So even explaining you the Oscar frames, right, in full detail. So it will be a full package. Let me put it like that. But of course, not right now. So I hope, of course, we all hope that this will be soon. I expect this to happen before the end of this year. Yeah. But of course, that's not something we can take for granted, because that's my statement. It's not a KNX Association statement. So I want to be clear on that.
Yes, of course. And there are a lot of factors in there, I'm sure.
Yes, definitely.
So, but I wanted also just to mention, before we're running out of time, but I wanted to mention I appreciated the tip on Wireshark, and it's nice to have some tips like that help you to fully utilize everything. So thank you for that. Thanks, Christoph.
Yes. Bye.